Sometimes the fastest way to find your own happiness is to help someone else find theirs. One morning, a professor walked into his classroom with a calm smile and an unusual wooden box in his hands, instantly capturing the attention of his curious students who whispered among themselves, wondering what surprise he had planned for them. And after greeting the class, he announced that today, instead of a lecture, there would be a very different kind of lesson, one that would not be written on the board, but would be carried in their hearts for the rest of their lives, which made the students even more intrigued. He began by placing the wooden box on his desk, opening it slowly, and inside lay a collection of brightly colored balloons, each deflated, some red, some yellow, some green, some blue. And he handed one balloon to each student along with a black marker, telling them to quietly write their own name on the balloon. Nothing more, nothing less. So they all did as instructed, writing their names in large, bold letters across the balloons. And once everyone had finished, the professor asked them to bring their balloons forward, place them back into the box, and then he carefully mixed them all together, shuffling them so no one could tell whose balloon was whose. Then he carried the box to the middle of the classroom, emptied it onto the floor, and colorful balloons rolled across the room, filling the space with a playful yet puzzling atmosphere, and finally he gave them the task. You now have exactly 5 minutes to find the balloon with your name on it, and you may begin. Immediately, the room erupted in movement as students rushed to grab balloons, bending down, picking one, checking the name, tossing it aside, and moving to another, the room filled with chaos and noise as balloons rolled away, some bouncing against desks and chairs, and in their hurry students bumped into each other, stepping over balloons, growing more and more frustrated as the minutes ticked by and very few managed to find their own balloon, while the professor simply watched silently, his calm eyes following the frenzy. After 5 minutes, he called out, "Stop!" And everyone froze, exhausted and annoyed, realizing that hardly anyone had been successful, their faces reflecting defeat and impatience. Then the professor smiled gently and said, "Now let us try something different. Each of you will pick up the first balloon you find, no matter whose name is on it, and hand it to the person whose name is written on it." The students exchanged confused looks but followed his instructions, and within just a couple of minutes, every single student was holding the balloon with their own name written on it, and the room that had been filled with frustration only moments earlier now filled with laughter, relief, and surprise. Once the noise settled down, the professor addressed the class with a calm and steady voice, saying, "Do you see what happened here today? In the beginning, each of you was desperately searching only for your own balloon, and even though it was right there among you, you could not find it in time, because all of you were focused only on yourselves. But the moment you started thinking of others, the moment you picked up the first balloon you saw, and gave it to its rightful owner, everyone found what they were looking for in no time at all. This is how life works too. If we only chase after our own happiness, our own desires, our own goals, we may spend years running, searching and struggling, never feeling satisfied. But when we start to help others, when we think of how to give, how to serve, how to make someone else smile, our own happiness finds its way back to us faster than we can imagine. The students sat silently, deeply moved, their eyes wide as the meaning of the exercise settled in, and the professor continued. Happiness, success, peace. These things cannot be chased directly. They come naturally when we give them away to others. When you help someone else find what they are searching for, you end up receiving the very thing you were looking for too. Because life is not about holding tightly to your own balloon, but about reaching out, sharing, and lifting others up. A hush filled the room, and every student knew they had just learned something far more valuable than any textbook could ever teach them. The professor then gently gathered the balloons once more and placed them back into the box, closing it softly as he said, "Remember, in this world, your happiness will always be tied to how much you contribute to the happiness of those around you. If you want to live a meaningful life, do not chase after your own balloon. Help others find theirs, and you will discover that your own will be waiting for you." The classroom, once filled with noise and confusion, now felt peaceful and full of light, And as the students walked out that day, they carried not just their balloons, but a powerful lesson etched into their hearts, that true joy, true fulfillment, and true purpose come not from selfish pursuit, but from kindness, compassion, and the willingness to make someone else's life brighter, because in helping others find their way, we find our own.